and we're going personal as I would say that I would just lead you to reflect some things about yourself before we plunge in to the technical aspects that we're going to talk about this later today, right? So good morning. I would like to take off that in my earlier years, in when I was taking my MA, one of my most favorite theory, I took my focus in psychology is family psychology. One of my most favorite theories, actually the theory of love, the triangular theory of love. Do you know that? Who is the what do you call that? Who is the author of that? And that is Rupert Sternberg. So sabi ko, wow, this is such a privilege. But I am reflecting on what he's saying about adaptive intelligence. Anong kinalaman niyo dito? Very much on well-being. Because sometimes, our world as psychology teachers, we become too swamped up and flooded. Can you say the word with me? Flooded. Flooded with concepts, flooded with theories, flooded with papers, flooded with everything else that we need to do. That we forgot to just be sensible, realistic, and practical. We tend to have a label for everything. You agree with me? Oh, yan. When things are, going well, when people are talking to you, ito yan. We always have a label. We always have something to say. You agree with me? I think that's how psych people usually are. Is it good? Yes, it is. Nothing wrong with that. But the question that I would pose to you guys is that despite of it all, yeah, we always have something to say. That's correct. Despite of all this that we're doing, we tend to forget a very crucial part of ourselves, and that is our total well-being. This topic is very close to my heart, and then I'll share with you. So, as I told Pat, I'll make sure that this session is personal, okay? Personal for me and personal for you. So we're not going to talk about theories. We're not going to talk about models. Don't question me about where did you get that study? No, this is not about that. This is all about you. Do you agree with that? So for the next, how long do I have? Until what time do I have so I can timer myself? How long do I have, Pat? Sige, just message it to me. So for the next hour, what I just want you to do is focus on yourself and focus on your well-being. Because I will just lead you to reflect about this aspect that is very crucial to us. You agree with me? If you agree with me, can you just put a thumbs up or a heart emoticon so that we can start? We can start reflecting about the things that is actually very important for all of us. Okay. So teacher well-being in the post-pandemic world and building resilience and fostering joy. Who wants to be happy? You want to be happy? You want to be contented? You want to be satisfied in life? We all want that. And we want to be well at the same time. Agree? So we're going to focus on our realities, and then we're going to check on how we're nurturing ourselves. And we'll check, so what does joy and resilience has to do with our well-being? Okay. So, okay, let's go personal. Stress and realities. What is the most stressful thing for you at this point in our lives? At this, right here, right now, in your present moment, what is most stressful for you? Can you put that in the chat? I like engaging with the audience. So please do share, put your comments in the chat. What is the most work? Sadness this coming holiday. Oh yeah, deadlines. Yes, we all have grades to do. And checking the exams of our students. Finish grading paper, toothache, changing jobs, even if it's my decision, juggling work, family, and PhD. We all know that. Ginusto natin yan. Grades, raising kids, thesis. But honestly, are these really stress? Are they really problems? In reality, I don't see this because they are part of life. But if you look at raising kids stress, then it changed a lot of things. Ginusto natin, di ba? So if you say that work is stress, but that's work. That's purpose. So I think we need to have a revisiting of how we view stress. I heard sometimes people would say, nakakamatay ang stress. But I would say, hindi nakakamatay ang stress. It is coping with the stress that is actually more stressful and can create a big impact in our lives. In my screen, you see the thing that says you cannot pour and serve from an empty cup, right? So here, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Ano bang ibibigay mo? Meron akong nakita kanina, stress even though it's Christmas time, sadness. I think that every Christmas season, lalo na when we're teaching college na end of sem, tapos magki-Christmas party, tapos end of sem mo rin sa masters if you are, in the graduate school. And then there's a lot of parties. You don't realize, but we encounter a lot of stressors around us. But we are just elevated because it's supposed to be a joyful season. Do you agree with me? It's supposed to be a joyful season, kaya siya nangyayari. But here, we have to check what is your reality? Do you have the same reality as me? Do you have the same reality as an educator, a formator, a leader, or a manager in school? You're a parent, spouse, you're a sibling, or a family member, you're a graduate school student, you're a volunteer, you're a parish worker, whatever. But you are your own person. You cannot operate all the roles that you have if you do not take care of the person that you are. You agree? Lahat yan, baliwala. Lahat yan. It will not, and we're always talking about mental health now. We're always talking about well-being. But my question is, how are you actually supporting yourself? In the midst of all the stress that you said, are you supporting your stress or are you supporting yourself in the process? Where are you? When things get to you, pag nagka-problema ka, I just want to share with you, these are my realizations over the years and over the burnout episodes that I had when I was full-time working. I'm not full-time connected to, I'm not full-time teaching. I'm part-time teaching. It's a choice. It's a choice. Somebody told me na, but you don't have benefit. You don't have benefit. You don't have retirement. I will work for my retirement. But here I can choose the projects that I have. And I also hold a position. I lead a big ministry. So my realization on the personal burnouts that I encountered when I was working full-time, because I was just going through the motions of life. I was physically and emotionally unwell. The work I love was no longer life-giving, even though counseling is very life-giving. I love it so much. In my first decade, I'm a devoted and a very passionate guidance counselor, the same way with many of you. But I lack self-care. So, saan yung malaking hugot ko? Yung trabahong gusto ko, but there's nothing to give. Ayoko na makakita ng mukha ng estudyante. Parang at a certain point, the big question that we need to reflect is that teachers, educators, counselors are often nurturing than who nurtures our well-being. I'm posing to you the question. Our work, teaching, forming, all the roles that we play, we're always giving. But who nurtures us? Sagutin niyo ako. For you, I'm really pointing my finger for you guys, for you, brothers and sisters, for you colleagues, for you co-counselors, for you co-psychologists, for you as a person who is nurturing you. Who is nurturing you? I need answers. Who will take care of you? And this is one of my favorite line, favorite quote. Problems are not the problem, coping is the problem. If you're familiar with Virginia Satir, she is a family therapist and then she used the humanistic approach to family therapy. But it may be true for family, it may be true for relationship, it may be true for our well-being. Problems are not the problem. Coping is the problem. So when you are stressed, Are you supporting your stress? Just, sugarcoating the stress, pretending that you're doing self-care, but you're just browsing through your social media mindlessly. You are just indulging yourself in online shopping because it's 12/12 yesterday and you have 13th month. Anyway, you deserve it because you're so stressed. Or are you supporting yourself really good, in the goodness sense of supporting yourself and nurturing your well-being? Friends, we need to support ourselves because stress will not go away. Hindi yan mawawala. Package na yan sa buhay. If you are looking at your family, if you're looking at your kids as stress, package yan sa buhay nyo. So, hindi yan stress. Tuition fee, bills, they are not stress. They are already packaged in life. So it's not going to go away, and it has a cumulative effect. If you are sick right now, if you're going through a mental health concern or a physical concern, try to check your past 12 months. Kung wala kang makitang pattern, tingnan mo nung lockdown. How have you been supporting yourself? Because it has a cumulative effect. What you did not address then might just be what you're experiencing now. That is not healthy, that is not well, and that it's not good for your own well-being and resilience. That's why too much stress can be dangerous. Too much stress can be dangerous. It can actually kill. So it's not the stress that kills you, but how you take care of yourself, how you support yourself in the process of dealing with the stress. Am I making sense, friends? Am I connecting? So what the fourth point that I want you to reflect, our well-being matters. Always, we cannot give what we don't have. Our well-being matters so much to the point that even though you're physically well, but if you are mentally, we're talking about mental health. We are mental health practitioners here. Pero kung ikaw mismo, you're going through a lot of crisis situation in your family life, then we lose the ball game. You will fake it till you make it, but at one point, you just cannot fake it anymore. You just cannot fake it anymore. This is real life. I've been through that situation. And maybe you admit to yourself, nangyari na rin ba ito sa akin? Yung I'm pretending that I know mental health, I'm pretending that I know well-being, I'm teaching psychology, but even if I cannot apply what I teach to myself. So, babalik ako sa magic question ko, teachers, friends, how are you nurturing your own well-being? Somebody said here, faking leads to burnout. The more you get burnout because you're faking it. Remember, what we cannot name, we cannot tame. If you don't admit that you are burnt out, if you don't admit that you're going through something, then how can we actually be more intensive, be more intentional in supporting ourselves? So I would like you to reflect about this. Some ways in your past are no longer serving you at present. One of the favorite things that people ask, and I think tayo as teachers, people look to us, tama ba ginawa ko? Alam niyo yung magic question na ganyan, sis, bro, friend, tama bang ginawa ko? Narinig niyo na yung tanong na yun? Tama ba ang ginawa ko? But minsan wala naman tama o mali. It's not a question of who is right and what is right, but it's a question of what your pattern before in the pre-pandemic, your lifestyle then, at your age, in your pre-pandemic body, is it still applicable now in the post-pandemic era? So the question now, is it still serving your purpose? Okay pa bang magpuyat araw-araw hanggang 12:00? Is it still serving a purpose in your life? We always get fixated also now. No, I'm resilient, I'm strong. Dati kinaya ko to. Kakayanin ko to ngayon. Yes, kaya mo nun. But the conditions, the circumstances that you have now, and even your inner tenacity as a person, and even the crisis situation outside you, mukha lang pareho, magkaiba pa rin. We are a different person then and now. That's why we always need to reflect, to recalibrate. Ano pang words that I like saying this? Reflect, recalibrate, rekindle, reassess, redefine what happens in our well-being then and now. I'm sorry, na sa pool po kami dito. I'm so sorry, medyo masakit. Anong gusto niyo? Medyo professor side na muna ako, or you want me to be more formal, or you want me to be more direct to you, because I don't think that I don't think that somebody would be direct to you the same way that I'm doing. So let me know kung nasasapol na kayo at tone down ko, okay? Okay. The reason why we're nurturing ourselves, hindi ma'am, go lang, mas gusto po namin masaktan. Yes, and it's the holiday season. I think the best thing that we can do to ourselves this Christmas is to actually collapse the mindset na kaya ko lagi. Okay lang na may grit, but are you balancing well-being and grit? Are you nurturing yourself while you are achieving your dreams? We cannot give what we do not have. Our well-being is our responsibility. Even though there's the advent of AI, even though there's the advent of a lot of technology, even now, I'm on the digital space with you guys. Ang hindi na invento is somebody who will do self-care for you. Right? Walang na-invento. Somebody will sleep for you for 9 hours a day. No, you cannot pay someone to eat healthy food for you. You cannot also pay someone to do the exercise regimen that your body needs. And you cannot even though that you said na ang dami ng injection, wala pa rin. Yung mga hormones na kailangan ng system natin, they still not replicated. You can just eat a certain food, but it's not the same as really doing the exercise. And if I may be spiritual, we need to take care of well-being because we are stewards of God's creation. If we're creating people, if we're creating future psychologists, if we are creating future counselors, nurturers, if we're creating future teachers, then what is your vessel? Is your vessel also being taken care of? Somebody said, pwede bang outsource yung self-care? Yun na nga, hindi nga. Yun na nga, hindi nga. And yesterday, I gave a corporate talk. That's one of the things that I do. I do corporate trainings. Of course, on well-being, diba? Well-being and family life. And then, the boss said that she just transferred in that organization. It's a big insurance firm, one of the top 10 in the Philippines. And then she said, this organization is a hamster wheel. Paikot-ikot ka lang. Because ang conditioning nila is go for the money. But come to think of it, last week, a team member at 44 died. I don't know their personal circumstances. He suddenly died. So the reflection here is that because way back, if you are in the workplace, I mean the workplace meaning in organizations, in companies, the measure of productivity is actually to really focus. But now, come to think of it, the measure of productivity is well-being. You can be well if you know how to recharge. And then yesterday also, there's this guy, he got 3 awards because they had the awarding before my talk. The funny thing is that I asked him during the talk, "Sir, what's your ang sabi niya, I asked question, "Do you guys take nap during the work hours?" He said he does. Siya lang yung nagsalita among about 60 to 100 people in the room. Siya lang yung nagnanap. So now I know why you got the award. Because you're taking naps. You're taking naps. Can I just tell you a secret? When I was the guidance counselor, I would take 15-minute nap. Na-master ko na yung pagtulog ng nakatungo. Meron akong maliit na pillow sa ibabaw ng table ko. Bakit hindi ako nagpupunta sa sofa? Delikadong humiga sa sofa. Matutulog ka sa sofa ng guidance room. Pero if you have the small pillow, that is also the nap. I teach in Miriam College. Fortunately, we have a faculty lounge. If I have classes, I teach way back when I was teaching in the undergrad, I will teach, and then sometimes I would insert some counseling clients I seek counseling before, not anymore, in Ilaw. Ilaw is our wellness center. And then ang gagawin ko bago ako mag 5 PM class for graduate school, yung 4 to 5 PM ko, that's my self-care time. Anong ginagawa ko? Magda-nap. Nothing fancy. In the faculty lounge, with my scarf, sasandal ako sa pader, dun sa sofa dun, tulog. Why? Life is stressful. In the midst of challenges, I need to advocate for myself more than ever because no one would take care of me but myself. It may be a nap, it may be a walk, it may be a healthy meal. It just may be doing something that gives you life, but it needs to nurture you. And well-being is actually an holistic, whole aspect of yourself. APA Dictionary said well-being is a state of happiness, contentment, low levels of distress, overall good physical and mental health, and outlook or quality of life. This is good. But this is my favorite description of well-being. Marami ng definition, but this is what I always use. It's from the book Pamela Hayes, Creating Well-being. She said well-being refers to the wellness of one's whole, whole being, emotional, cognitive, physical, social, spiritual. It's not just being well yourself. This is my favorite part. It's also about doing well. Gumagawa ka ng mga bagay and acting in ways that increase the well-being of others. In family systems, we say that in Tagalog, sakit ng kalingkingan, dama ng buong katawan. Bowen said that the family is under one emotional skin. In our system, if you are teaching, your well-being is crucial because even the mental health of the students that you're meeting every day or twice a week, thrice a week, depends on you. Tatagalogin ko to. Pag ang sungit natin, friends, at nagkataon may sinungitan tayong estudyante, what if you're the person needed at that moment by that student? So we teachers, we educators, we want to be well because we want others to be well too. It's going to be futile or it's going to be plastic, if I may say, if we're teaching about mental health, but we are not taking care of our own mental health. We are not excused from depression. We're not excused from anxiety. We're not excused from loneliness. But elements of well-being, look at that. Happiness, mental and physical health, healthy relationships, and purpose. What's the purpose? Why you're teaching? Just to earn money? Oh my God! Kung ang pera lang ang pag-uusapan, hindi tayo nagtuturo. Tama? But because we serve a bigger purpose other than ourselves. And so the elements of well-being in what Pamela Hayes used, it's really happiness, mental health, and healthy relationships. If you were going to use the flourishing model, ang kaduktong pa niyan ay a character and virtue. So your own person. Hindi mo mabibili yung character and virtue. Yung happiness, mukha siyang mabibili, pero actually, it's an internal state. Mental and physical health, hindi mo siya mabibili, pero mura lang siya. Kasi libreng matulog at libreng maglakad at tumingin sa langit. Close social relationship, that has been tested. Healthy relationships and close social relationship does not mean that everything is well. But it just also means that despite of differences, you are confronting crucial issues in your relationships. And of course, meaning and purpose. I believe that one of the most meaningful work is the work of teachers, is the work of our work. But you know what? It's one of the most challenging things. I can say that I have come full circle. Kasi last Saturday, yung college student ko, inanak ko sa kasal. Pero I have come full circle when I started my career as a guidance counselor. Yung mga estudyante ko, when I was a guidance counselor, pumasa na ng board. May patapos na akong magiging OB. And for me, I see how they are. That's the meaning and purpose of what we do. So, so what gives you happiness? What gives you joy right now? Yung totoong joy ha, wag niyo akong bigyan ng far-fetched things. What gives you joy? What gives you joy? Yung talagang may kilig na joy. Regalo? Yes, nakakakilig yun, but it's temporary. Kids, sa ano yung joy, that immeasurable joy. Good health of family. Talking to my kids, pera po. Oo, pera naman. Nakakasaya naman yun, pero nakaka-stress din siya. Fulfillment. Agree. Ako, you know what gives me joy? I have two teenagers. I have a 17 and a 14. Pag nakikita ko na, for example, we're going to the church, we serve in our spiritual community, we serve, our family serve in the community of Brother Bo Sanchez, the feast. When I see my daughter going ahead of us because she passionately goes to the kids ministry. Mom, I need to go. I have to set up. And then I would see my son. He's the one handling the camera for the live stream. And then I would see my husband. It's his birthday today. He would lead worship. And then I would just be there as spectator of how life can be very giving. And then after we will have a meal as a family. That's joy. That's joy. And then I would see my kids talking, bonding. That's joy. Pwedeng mababaw, pwedeng hindi. Pero that's well-being, that it actually helps well-being. Joy is a feeling of extreme gladness, delight, or exultation. Forms, passive joy or active joy are associated with increase in energy and feelings of esteem. But I would like to ask you, can we still be satisfied with life even without good feelings? Kasi kung joy is an emotion of extreme gladness, pwede bang maging masaya pa rin kahit na may pinagdadaanan? Pwede? Kahit na ang daming bayarin. Kahit na wala kaming Christmas tree ngayon kasi we're going to have home renovation, pwede pa rin maging masaya. Kahit na ham lang at tinapay ang Noche Buena, pwede. Yes! Because that's true joy. And if you come to look at it, well-being and happiness goes hand in hand. So if we look at the deeper sense of happiness, well-being, under well-being is happiness and life satisfaction. It's about a pleasant life. It's about an engaged life, and it's about a meaningful life. There's no answer here about the latest bag that you bought. There's no answer here if you have the latest Adidas or Nike shoes that you want to get for Christmas, or if you have the latest model of iPhone. There's no answer here. An engaged life. Do you see me joyful with what I'm doing? Even if you don't say it, I know this is an engaged life for me. Kahit na because that is a life of meaning and purpose. But, warning, an engaged life, a fulfilled life doesn't need a microphone or a stage all the time. Sometimes you just need to be at the back room. Sometimes you just need to be at the counseling room. Sometimes you just need to be checking papers. But sometimes you just need to be crying with someone because that's needed. And well-being, actually, resilience is not part of well-being. Well-being is actually more of a result of well-being. So do you think you're resilient? What are the traits of emotionally resilient people? You know your boundary. Do you know your boundary? You keep good company. Alam mo kung sino yung taong toxic. Alam mo kung sino yung oo-oha na Christmas party. Where, I think this, just a joke. If you are in your 20s, how many parties do you attend? Di ba ang dami? I've learned to have JOMO. Have you heard of JOMO? JOMO? What's JOMO? Junix is agreeing with me. What's JOMO? Kasama din yung joy. The joy of missing out. Why did I say that? I don't say to all the parties. Before, when I was younger, I would be the gatherer. I would like everyone, or I want to see my friends in grade school, high school, college. Tapos nag-graduate school ka pa. Tapos meron pa akong Singles for Christ community. Parang gusto ko lahat. Naka-plot yan. But there was a point in my life that that's no longer serving its purpose. Because stress and traffic is real. There was a period in our lives that every Christmas my husband was sick. So well-being is crucial for the family. And every time my husband would get sick during Christmas, I would have burnout. And I will be so drained every New Year. So that is revisiting the patterns. And I know I want the company which is life-giving. Not all, but quality. That is actually cultivating self-awareness. Alam mo na yung para sa'yo at hindi. Kilala mo sarili mo. Ito pinaka-critical. Alam mo rin kung saan ka pipitik. You know where and when is your tipping point. And when you're starting to feel tired, you know you need to practice acceptance. Tanggapin ko na to, napagod na talaga. Huwag na akong mag-fake it till you make it. Diba? The warning, the problem with our profession, we want to appear as thought we know it all. And we have things figured out. And people would ask you pa, so, psych ka naman di ba? Psychologize mo nga ako or alam mo na yan. One of the worst thing that I heard when I'm going through my own mental health concern is that, ikaw ba? Kaya mo yan? Kilala mo sarili mo? Kilala ko sarili ko. Alam ko yun. Pero at that point, I just want to bawl like a baby. I just want to cry the whole day. But one thing, yung cultivate self-awareness, kilala mo kung saan ka galing eh. Practice acceptance, tanggapin mo that yes, I have depression. Yes, I am already in my tipping point to go to burnout. Yes, I am actually so sad and drained already. Do you practice that? That is the sign of resilience. It's not just about bouncing back, but acknowledging where am I at the moment? And you're also willing to sit in silence. You know, this memes now that one of the true mark of a healthy person is when you know how to eat by yourself outside in public situation. Oh my God, sitting in silence is the best thing that we can do, friends. Ang buhay ng teacher, pagpasok mo pa lang sa campus, you are not your own anymore. That is why before, when I was full-time working, I like going to morning masses in the schools that I was in. Why? Because it's my chance to sit in silence. Until now, I cultivate that practice in my own living room. And also, resilient people don't have all the answers. Can you all type it here? I don't have all the answers. Can you type that here in the chat? I don't have all the answers. Sometimes our tendency is to keep answering, but in reality, all you just need to do is that to say, I don't know. And I'm comfortable with not knowing. That's resilience, friends. Being comfortable with not knowing. We don't have all the answers. We also consider possibilities. Yeah, that can happen. And also this can happen. Yes, we're open to that. And importantly, my favorite actually is that we have a menu of self-care habits. Diyan ako papunta, friends. Diyan ako papunta sa pinaka-exciting part at pinaka-favorite part ko. You have a menu of self-care. Thank you for saying you don't have all the answers. Because when stress, task rules, and life's demands increase, our self-care should also intensify. Teachers, friends, let's be honest. When stress gets to you, how do you take care of yourself? Do you take care of yourself pag ang daming gagawin? Yes or no? I need answers. Do you take care of yourself when there's just too much? There's difficulty in the family, there's concern in school. Yes. Yes, no, I pray. Yes, maybe you try, but most of the time, it's always an option, yes or no. Can you type there, is it actually you have a daily dose of self-care or it's an optional extra? Right there. Is it you have really time to carve yourself? Just to give an example. Yesterday, the past days has been very, very hectic for me. And this talk has been set out way before. Okay. I know what I need to give you. Optionally honest. Thank you for being honest, friends. Optionally. Optional honesty. Okay. Um, and yesterday, I was in 2 sessions in Makati, one in the morning, meeting on lunch, and then afternoon. But it's my husband's birthday, so we need to carve a little time for us to have a date. And of course, I was able to get home about 10 o'clock. Then in the evening, today, my alarm went at 4:30 a.m. What do I have to do? I have to have my personal time and I need to have yoga class for 30 minutes today. 5:30 a.m. The house is still sleeping. I'm up and I need to prepare for what I give you. Ang dami. Ang daming gagawin. After this, I need to prepare a lot for a family break. I need to prepare gifts for a family reunion, a community Christmas party on weekends, another party, ang dami. Our tendency is actually put self-care on top of yes or no. Later na. But we need to change the ball game. We need to change the habits that no longer serving its purpose. We need to intensify how we're really taking care of ourselves because that is actually the route to better well-being. Nakikita lang natin yung self-care before as massage, spa, at me time. But let me just invite you to look at it very differently now because even the World Health Organization has defined self-care already. So if you look at their website, it's already there. Self-care is the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and cope with illness and disability with or without the support of the healthcare worker. There are some new studies and some centers and the mental health congress that I attended one time, the Global Mental Health Congress, they are already speaking of self-care as important as healthcare. Can you catch that? And we know that. We know that, friends. It's not about medication. If there's mental health, not all can be given medication. But in the midst of a difficult situation, you intensify how you take care of yourself para hindi tayo, simply put, hindi tayo babaksak. So I have this book, You Can Care for You, that I launched last year. And then I put there that self-care is deliberately crafting activities and patterns, hindi lang activities, patterns in life that are simple, sustainable, self-nourishing, and supportive of our total well-being. Why did I say simple? Why did I say especially sustainable? Kahit na wala kang pera, kaya mong gawin. And self-nourishing, it needs to feed you, mind, body, and soul, physically, psychologically, spiritually, and supportive of your whole being. We integrate them in our daily life for the purpose of being well, in the pursuit of being whole, and this is what we do to fulfill our purpose for ourselves and others. Do I need to convince you? I don't think so. But I just need to ask you, you have to be deliberately in the path of taking care of yourself in whatever means you can. Self-care is showing up for yourself not when life is easy. Mas madaling mag-self-care pag excited ka lagi. Pero pag kung na-try nyo na bang magdasal na puro iyak yung ginawa nyo? Yes? Na-try nyo na ba yung you just want to walk, you just want to spend energy, and then you're crying, and then gusto mong sumigaw pa rin? Ako, nasubukan ko na mag-yoga na tumulo ang luha. Because in the middle of that, I know that my body needs it. My mind needs it. My spirit needs it. Health, health to the yes, doc. Yes. In the midst of it all, we need to do that. Even if our mind want, our bodies and our spirits need us to take care of ourselves. Self-care in daily life, it's not an optional extra. It's actually well-being support. It's deliberately. Can you say deliberate? Can you type here with me deliberate? Deliberately done as part of daily life and difficulties. Either stress or not, kasama yan. Kasama yan. And you have to learn that self-care is about nurturing the self. And look at these two things that I put here. Self-nourishment means supporting your well-being. But self-indulgence, it affects other aspects of your well-being. Self-nourishment deals with okay, one perfect example of self-indulgence, yung mahilig sa K-drama na inuumaga. Huwag kayong lalabas sa call na to. When you say hindi self-care ko K-drama, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But if you are not sleeping well and you have about 4 hours of sleep, and then in the morning, you have a headache, you feel dizzy, you're unproductive, and it's affecting other aspects of your life, that's not self-care, that's self-indulgence. Self-nourishment, it deals with present concerns and issue. May problema ako, haharapin ko to, pero may self-care pa rin ako. One perfect example here is that I don't feel good today, but I will put makeup. I will dress well so that I'll feel good about myself. But self-indulgent is that hindi mo hinaharap yung problema. Puro ka lang paganda. Puro ka lang selfie. Puro ka lang it's all about you. But you can still look good and feel good despite that you have concerns, you have problems. Kaya minsan parang pag narinig mong sinabi na, for me when some close friends would say na, hindi naman halatang may pinagdaanan ka, bakit ka papalata? Bakit ko pipiliin maging losyang? Pwede naman tayong maging maayos. Kahit na may pinagdadaanan at talagang nakikipaglaban sa buhay. Tama, lalaban ka na rin sa buhay, gandahan mo na, pogian mo na. Do you agree? So here, you deal with your concern because if you deny that, that's self-indulgent and it's also being toxic positive. Self-nourishment is actually a path to wholeness, but self-indulgence is actually concealing a life of brokenness. You're pretending to be a good psychologist or counselor, but you don't want to admit that you have your own insecurities and issues also. You don't access the vulnerability. You just try to have all good feelings, but no hurt, no pain can penetrate me. No. A life of brokenness is that you are broken, but you stand up amidst that brokenness. So here, that's nurturing yourself. And self-care is nurturing your whole being, and it creates ripple effect to your family, to your work, to everyone. So self-care, how are you taking care of yourself? Can you check here, ilan meron ka dito? Movement and exercise. What is movement and exercise? Galaw-galaw, ayaw natin pumanaw, di ba? So movement and exercise means that you have regular practice. You have regular practice, hindi yan basta. You choose the exercise that will work for you. Yesterday, I was in the 22nd floor. I was telling people, and then, exercise you from the 10th floor, maglalakad ka pababa. Diba? It's just not spending for gym. Sleep and rest. Friends, I need to ask you, do you know how many hours of good sleep we adults should have in one day, in one night? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know how healthy? Healthy. That's true. Nicole, that's true. 7 to 9 is the healthy sleep for adults. Take note, hindi 5, hindi 6. At a doctor friend said, hindi natin yon babawiin pag weekends. Yung napuyat ka, tapos nag-party, matutulog ako buong Sunday. No, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin kasi it will ruin more your circadian rhythm. We've heard of circadian rhythm. That's in Psych 101. So here, hindi pwedeng mag-offset kasi lalo mong sisirain yung sistema mo and you're supposed to be sleeping if your usual sleep is 10 p.m. Kung 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., regularly, yun yung sleep mo. That is how you recalibrate all the physiological, all the hormones, everything needed. And if you notice, that's why a lot of mental health issue happen during the pandemic because mas maraming hindi natutulog, mas maraming nag-i-indulge sa Netflix, and nawawalan tayo ng sleep and movement that we usually have. So here, self-care, ang pinakamahirap na self-care is the three. Exercise, sleep and rest, and good food. Good food is not just pork belly and lechon, okay? Eat to nourish. Eat plants, not from the plants. So kung ang diet mo is mostly processed, you know why you're sick. So here also, personal care and grooming is very important. Cannot sleep in depth. Alam niyo yung natural glow? Kahit na ang ganda-ganda pa ng skincare mo, kung puyat ka pa rin, hindi pa rin yan kaya, friends. And then there's no replacing sleep. Tama ka, Kendra. Sleep depth cannot be paid. That's true. If your body is just full of junk food and you don't have vegetables or plant-based food, I'm telling you, there's no nourishment going there. There's no nourishment going there. So personal care and grooming, it's part of that. When you teach, how do you teach friends? One of the things that I learned in teaching in an all-girls school, nakaabang sila kung ano itsura mo. And then they tell you. Minsan nung first semester ko in teaching in the college, one student told me, Miss, hindi ka pa po nag-uulit ng damit. Talaga? You're taking count? But honestly, a good friend of mine, also a professor, said, alam mo, minsan itong mga batang to, hindi pa bumubuka bibig mo, hinusgahan ka na mula ulo hanggang paa. Tama, mali. How you groom yourself is actually a manifestation about how you're taking care of yourself. I'm not talking about vanity, I'm just talking about personal grooming. Physical space and environment, maybe your workplace, maybe your room, reading for relaxation, nurturing your mind, and new experiences. Okay, let me just tell you. There's a question. Is self-care, is travel self-care? Is traveling self-care? For you guys, is traveling self-care? For me, no. Because it's not sustainable. It's not simple. Magastos, yes. At nung lockdown, napatunayan natin, hindi tayo makaka-travel. So, kung stress na stress ka na ba, and you consider na, naku, Boracay lang ang makakasagot nito. Yes, hindi yan self-care. For me, that is an added bonus in life already. That is an extreme form of bonus or a life treat. Treat na yan. Nakakapagod. Nakakapagod kung ang type ng travel mo is that you would go from one place to another. Pero if you're like me na gusto lang tumunganga in another place, and then that is actually the more self-care. But for me, that is actually an added bonus. Why? Because if you travel, you get new experiences. And you harness, if you're familiar in positive psychology, you harness the power of savoring. You know what savoring is? Ninanamnam. So pag nasa beach ka, pag sinabi mo sa akin na, if you show me your picture, that nakataas ang paa, holding a book or a shake or a buko juice by the beach, and you'll put hashtag self-care, that is not self-care if you just only took that photo. The new experience can be harnessed, actually, if you stay in that place. You make the most out of the situation. You actually indulge in savoring the scent of the sea, feeling the sun in your skin, the sweat, and everything. And then that new experience is something you bring with you. Remember, savoring even the old memories. You bring it with you when you're stressed. That is the power there. So kung puro picture taking during travel, lalong hindi self-care yun. Ang tawag doon, photoshoot. Because you don't maximize the experience with your senses. Are you getting me? Sense of skin, all our senses. Immersing in the experience is an experience of being mindful about it, savoring what it brings you, and that goes to your core memory. So that's the new experience there. Doc, pwede ba libre? Oo. Tumingin ka sa langit on a clear day. Iba yung kulay. Iba yung kulay ng langit. Minsan orange, minsan pink, minsan purple, minsan blue. That's savoring. Yung hangin na humahampas, yung araw, yung minsan parang ang sarap maglakad ngayon. Kahit mainit, may breeze yan. This December, kaya hanggang January. That is savoring. That's a new experience and we can have it every day. That's self-care for our mind and body. And teachers, we have a soul, we have a spirit. We need to learn to take care of ourselves. So one is that we need to be in touch with our emotions. Teachers, do you admit your emotions? Do you admit your emotions? Yes or no? Do you really, we're teaching in my class, where I teach social emotional development in the graduate school. One of the things that I ask my students to do that they appreciate, I would say, I don't know if I have students here, they appreciate is actually making them do a feeling journal. Pat, I made you do the feeling journal, right? Laging tuwing sharing nila in reference to my feeling journal, oh my God, do you know that feeling journal is something that I ask grade school students to do, lalo na yung mga may behavioral problem? Because they're in the process of developing. But I didn't realize that it's going to be a very powerful tool during the semester for adults. Because sometimes in the business of adult life, we forgot to be in touch with our emotions. So you have to change to actually be more in touch with your emotions. You have to learn spiritual activities. Meditation, if you're Catholic, I use two apps. As a Catholic, I use the Hallow app for meditation and I use my very own Feast app. So that's a spiritual activity. Social connection. Choose to be with the right people. You don't need to say yes to everyone. When you say yes to a few, when you say no to a few, you say yes to you. Remember that. Saying no to a few, you're saying yes to you. Saying to more time for you. Saying to healthier relationships because you want quality, not quantity. Some people in your past will not make it to your future. Lalo na yung future midlife self nyo. And have a creative play or hobby. Have laughter and tears. Yung mga Christmas party ngayon, maximize all the endorphins that you would get through the games, through the laughter and tears, and the experience of awe and wonder. And of course, prayer and gratefulness will always, always save the day. Hindi yan kailangan i-justify ng religion. Science has justified the power of prayer, gratefulness, and even the experience of awe and wonder. Doc, what's the experience of awe and wonder? Yung pag meron kang binuksan, tapos sabihin mo, oh! One of the best experience of awe and wonder na medyo mahal minsan kasi yan. But one of my best experience of awe and wonder is that if you've been to El Nido, Palawan, and you went to the small lagoon, napakahirap pumasok dun sa small lagoon because you have to go through this, you're riding a kayak, and then you have to go through this parang rock formation. Papasok mo yung kayak mo doon. So ako, takot ako na magkayak. That's a challenge for me. But the awe and wonder enters when you enter in a kayak and then you just stop kayaking and you just try to listen to the singing of the birds, your own echo, the splashing of water. And when that was an experience I had last year, and that experience, I was able to experience is tatlong kayak lang kami. Tatlong set of visitor lang kami because we went on an afternoon na wala na yung mga ibang group tours. And kasama namin yung tour, yung travel, yung tour guide. And oh, wow! Sabi ko, Lord, ang mahal naman mag-experience of awe. Pwede bang maging mura yung experience of awe, friends? Pwede ba? Yes. Pwedeng-pwede. Mamayang hapon lumabas kayo. Tumingin kayo sa langit. Tingnan niyo yung cloud formation. If you feel that there's no blessing, try to look at the clouds. If you feel that there's no life, try to look at your plants. Baka may bagong tubo. If you feel that life is complicated, look for some children that you can hang out with and look at the world in their eyes. That's the experience of awe and wonder. And importantly, self-care would only work if you have self-compassion. I'll repeat that. The missing link to many self-care, and we just indulge, it's because we lack self-compassion. I took some courses. We're all familiar with self-compassion now. I took some courses with the mindful self-compassion, mindful self-compassion org by Dr. Neff and Dr. Germer in the US. I took it online. I took a 4-day core competencies for self-compassion and then the other 10-week program. That's their basic self-compassion. But self-compassion is that it's not changing the situation, but you are actually trying to support yourself in the midst of pain and suffering. You recognize that, yes, this is part of life. Hindi ko masabi. Paulit yung quote ko about the reason why self-care don't work. It's because we lack self-compassion. So if you think you are indulging on self-pity, try self-compassion. And if you're saying, nakakaawa naman ako na lang natira, ang dami kong ginagawa, ako na lang lahat, tell yourself na it's okay, it will pass. Recognizing your pain and suffering, grabe, lagi na lang ganito nangyayari sa akin. You recognize that things happen for a reason. That's more being self-compassionate. I'm so stupid. No, we just say that I am imperfect, but I am good. That is treating yourself with love and kindness. But the perfect analogy and the perfect question that what always Dr. Christian Neff is always saying that the quintessential question we need to ask ourselves in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of challenges, is asking yourself, what do I need at the moment? Do I just need to pause? Do I need the time to pray? Do I just need to be heard? Do I just need a good bath? Do I just need to take a walk for a while? Do I just need to have deeper breathing? That is addressing your problem. You don't change your problem. You don't change the circumstances outside of you. But you are able to support yourself in the middle of a difficult situation. So it is actually very critical. Self-care is the root for self-compassion to land for me. You can be very compassionate, but pero naman ang self-care practices mo not good. No, they go hand in hand. So you have to actually learn how to foster well-being and joy. You have to recognize what you have. You have to recognize who you are. You have to recognize that you can. I have strong relationships, structure rules, home models. I have the support I need. I have the capacity that I need to have. I am a person who has hope and faith. I am a person who cares about my work. I'm a person who's so passionate about life. I have my inner strength. I can communicate. I can solve problems. I am capable. I can rest. I can pause. I can say no. Sometimes we're all into the good side, but we fail to say, I have the ability to decline things that are no longer serving its purpose. I am capable of saying no and putting healthy boundaries. I can take care of myself because I need to. My well-being is my priority. Why am I saying this? My book, You Can Care for You, is a product. Kaya yan ginawang You Can Care for You. Because it's actually harnessing the inner capacity that we have as individuals. My book, You Can Care for You, It's a product of burnout. It's a product of marital conflict. It's a product of my passion about self-care way, way back. And it's validating that self-care is actually the one that served a very big purpose in my life when my well-being is at risk. Kung Tagalog, lahat ng self-care activities ko, siya yung naging tukod. And when I was seeking counseling from a counselor friend, take note friends, a counselor needs counselors too. During the time that I was seeking help for myself, she told me, Echelle, how come your burnout is lingering? And we realize I have bits and pieces signs of depression. Of course, it's not clinically diagnosed. It's not a clinical basis, but bits and pieces of that. And I realized when I read more, alam niyo naman tayo, we have answer for everything, hahanapin at hahanapin ang sagot. I realized that yes, I am already at the tipping point, yung pabaksak na ako, because I cannot get out of my zone for more than 3 months already. I realized that that's why I am functioning. That is why I can still work. That's why I'm still fulfilling the purpose I have despite of everything I have. It's because there are some self-care activities, prayer life, community life, purpose, sleep, good food, yoga. I have hobby. I have a hobby, but I have hobbies. I make handmade soaps. I have a hobby. I like looking at the sky. I like walking on I like seeking nature. But hindi ako yung hardcore nature tripper. There's nature. These are actually what I call bubble wraps. Stress will always be outside. We cannot control people. We cannot control circumstances, but we can control how we take care of ourselves. This is a quote that I put in my book, The Beauty of 40. When we care for our well-being, we progress to being whole beings. That's why in the Soul of Science of Self-Care, the You Can Care for You book, I said, no matter what life throws at us, we work deliberately to be well so we can make ourselves whole. At babalikan ko yung huli kong slide, ang isa kong slide na nilagay. Teachers, we are called to a life of significance. One of the most powerful line, if you talk about, adaptive intelligence, yung practical intelligence, ang perfect example ko sa practical intelligence, without being highfalutin, is actually one of my spiritual mentors, Brother Bo Sanchez. In his book, I did not put it here in the slide, in his book, Finding God's Dreams for You, he said there that success is not about you. Success is about you reaching your dreams. Significance, it's about you reaching others to reach their success. I want to ask you, are you living a life of success? You're working towards success, or you're working towards a life of significance? Babalikan ko yung sinabi at ending lines during the Q&A ni Bob. Kala mo close. He said, we just need to make the world a better place to live. What is your contribution to make this world a better place to live? But you cannot do a life of significance if you lack stewardship for your whole being and your well-being. If you lack proper, healthy self-care, and if you don't take care of your well-being, then how can you live with a life full of compassion and full of service? Diba? Babalik at babalik tayo. We have to have a life that is meaningful and purposeful. Kaya teachers, never ever take yourselves for granted. Kung hindi kayo pasalamatan ng iba, thank yourself. Kung hindi kayo mapansin na pagod na kayo, utang na loob, tell yourself, pagod ka na, magpahinga ka. Advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself. nobody would actually do it for you. Because no matter what life throws at us, we work deliberately to be well, to make ourselves good. Just last sharing. Meron ba dito mga nag-graduate school? Kahapon, my friend was asking me, kailangan ko pa bang ituloy yung thesis ko? Alam niyo, practical ang sagot ko eh. If I will be an academician, sasabihin ko sa kanya, oo naman no, sayang. Diba? Sayang. But now, my favorite question is it connected to your life mission? What service, what purpose is your degree serving? Yun na lang ang tanong ko sa inyo. And only you can answer that. Why? Why did I say that? I was able to answer it. When I was almost finishing, you know, you just have to write down all the analysis already and you're done with the dissertation. When I was at that point, Christmas season, this season, perfectly said, this season, 2016, my whole family got sick. My husband has severe eczema. And then he has immune imbalance that time. So he has inflammations. Nagpigsay mula ulo hanggang paa niya. Every year nangyayari yung inflammations niya during Christmas season. And then that time, ang dasal ko lang, Lord, gusto ko lang matapos. Gusto ko lang matapos. I wrote it in You Can Care For You and I wrote it in my other book. Sabi ko, Lord, ginagawa ko naman yung gusto mo. I'm teaching. I'm helping other people. I'm giving talks. And then I'm doing all this for you. Bakit hindi ako matapos? Sabi ko, ayoko nang matapos. Ayoko nang matapos. Because that time, nung sinasabi ko yon, December 23, nandun ako sa waiting area ng isang medical city. Just waiting for whoever doctor is needed because I have tonsillitis. I have fever. My 2 kids are sick. My husband is sick. My 2 kids are sick. Get it? Are you with me? Everyone's sick. Sabi ko, time, ano na, ito parang surrender na. Time out na ako, Dok. Ayoko nang tapusin yung dissertation. Kahit na may data na yan, isusulat na, hindi ko na kaya. That book, I hope that I have it, that I was telling you about, that Bo Sanchez wrote, here. I'm sorry. It's called How to Make Your Dreams Come True, Life Manual 101. This is his book. That book, yan lang yung dala ko. Kasi, ayoko na magbasa ng related lit, no? Nag-a-analyze ako. So, ang dami kong related lit in my tablet. So, sabi ko, ayoko nang basahin to. I need to rest my head. So, I pick up this book and in the waiting room, 3 oras kong inintay yung doktor, 3 oras din akong kinausap ni Lord. Hindi pala, 30 seconds. So, the best example of intelligence, of adaptive intelligence is Brother Bo, when he said that success, it's about you reaching your dreams. It's written there. And then significance, it's about you reaching others reach their success. And then nung binasa ko yon, sabi ko, Lord, so ibig sabihin hindi ako titigil? Sinagot ako ni Lord. Kinausap niya ako. Sorry, I just need to share it. I hope it's okay. And then he said, yes, because your degree is not for you. It's for me and my work. Get it? Your degree is not for you. Kasi alam ko, konektado talaga siya sa trabaho ko. So sabi ko, and you know, I was just floored and crying. Ay sabi ko nga, mukha akong timang doon sa waiting room of medical city. Kasi iyak ako nang iyak, wala naman akong sakit. Tonsillitis yung sakit ko. Ba't ako iyak nang iyak? Because it's actually being affirmed by the mission that the Lord has instilled on me, the significance and purpose. To cut the long story short, last year, I was asked by the former director of the Light of Jesus Pastoral Care, that used to be the Light of Jesus Counseling Ministry Center. It's a 30-year-old ministry serving here and all our feasters and whoever needs psychospiritual support. We're now moving into what we call psychospiritual support. We just give PFA service to whoever would access us online. I was invited to be the director. And then when I was praying about it, what was reminded to me was that, remember I told you, your degree, it's not for you, it's for my purpose. Friends, take care of yourself. That summer, that Christmas season when I was crying, ang binargain ko ka lang, Lord, teka lang, magpapagaling ako, aalagaan ko lang pamilya ko, magre-recharge lang po ako, aalagaan ko sarili ko para hindi na ako magkasakit, para magawa ko na kung ano yung gusto mong gawin ko. At aalagaan ko yung sarili ko ng mas madami. Take care of yourself, take care of your well-being, because the well-being of other people depends on you. We are teachers, but we are more life givers. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.